What's up, guys? Welcome tonight to Boxing Insider Promotions Fight Night Official Pre-Show. Presented to you by Larry Goldberg's Boxing Insider Promotions and in association with DeBella Entertainment. We are live here in Sony Hall in New York City in the Big Apple and also live on BoxingInsider.com. I'm one of your co-hosts, Cynthia Conte, and I'm riding with my co-pilot.
And I am Giandra LaBeouf, happy to be here tonight to talk boxing with you. It's going to be a great night of fighting, action-packed card at Sony Hall, and I know New York City is ready to see all this fight action.
Giandra, this is so exciting. You know how I love club shows. I love it. I've hosted them. You've witnessed being in a club show because these club shows are your future world champions.
Absolutely. And what we see here tonight sets the tone for the future implications of the division, people looking to make a name, people who are established and reintroducing themselves. But there's going to be a great night of fights, and Sony Hall never disappoints. It keeps getting more popular and popular.
We can see right now Sony Hall is getting packed. People are coming literally in their suits and in their business wear because they want to see some fights. I get it. You want to go home. You have to go home. But you got to see some fights. When it's live here in Times Square, you have to come watch a live fight night because these are some of the best prospects. And there's some names on this card that we will mention in a little bit that we have seen on the big stage before.
Yes, there are some exciting names that fight fans will be familiar with. We're going to talk to them during the course of this live show. But we are here to recap tonight's exciting card, tonight's exciting action. And it's a good time to be together again to do this opportunity with each other.
I know, it's all action fights. You know I love a bloody war. I love knockouts. I know you do too. But as long as everyone is safe, these fighters, they're all coming out because a lot of them have been on Larry Goldberg's card before. A lot of them, it's a very international card, but a lot of them are fighting out of either Dominican Republic or Mexico or somewhere, but they're all fighting out of New York City. So I always consider it's a local war between everyone.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, like you said, it's going to be some local wars. We're fresh off of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but the pride is still reigning true. We have Puerto Ricans on the card. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an awesome event. There's going to be some fisticuffs being thrown, Boricuas standing.
You never know. I mean, there's going to be what? Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Also fighting out in New York, so everyone, but everyone's going to have their flags. And what I do love about a club show, it's not just the fights. It's about the fans and the family because they all come out and support. Because sometimes you won't be able to go to, across country to come to Los Angeles or, somewhere else to go support their fighters. So coming into Sony Hall tonight and be able to cheer them on and see them perform, that just gives that extra oomph to that fighter.
Not to mention, there is something special about fighting in New York City. The Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden is here. And if you're a young fighter, particularly on the East Coast, it's something to be said about fighting in New York, which has been a hotbed of boxing for so many years. And all of these combatants tonight are looking to establish themselves in the sport and really make a good show of things.
Well, tonight, we know Sony Hall is going to be packed. Everyone's going to be on a buzz, literally on a buzz. So make sure you guys tip your bartenders, have fun, and also use our official hashtag Boxing Insider Live. Go on all your socials. If you tag it on YouTube, Twitter, I don't even know all the other socials. What is TikTok?
All of it. Instagram, TikTok, anywhere where you can enter a social media hashtag Boxing Insider Live. Hell, put it on Facebook too. Tag Boxing Insider on Facebook and make sure you use the official hashtag Boxing Insider Live for tonight's event.
And I know you guys are wondering, who are these two ladies doing this pre-show for Boxing Insider Fight Night?
Yes.
If you guys don't know, and many of you guys may, but I hope you guys do, we have a podcast, Best Women's Boxing Show, period, on YouTube, Twitter, Stitch,
everywhere.
Apple, everywhere, anywhere that you can listen to something, we are on there. We've had some great guests. We are in season 2, and so this is very, very exciting. It's our new set, so we are very excited to be part of Boxing Insider, to be able to bring you a live fight night, to set the tone for tonight, because this is very, very exciting. All right, Chandra, this event, this is the 5th show for Boxing Insider, and every show has been action-packed, and sadly, Larry, I wish it was a female on the card.
Yes.
Any female, and especially even headlining, but we do have an incredible main event. We have Kurt Scoby versus Henry Hank Lundy. You guys know that name. Kurt Scoby is 11-0 by way of 9 knockouts. Originally from Duarte, California, moved his way out to New York City, which is incredible. I can't wait to interview him because you're going to learn a little bit more about him, how he got to New York, and how cheap it was. And he's fighting Henry Lundy. You're going to be interviewing him early. You actually interviewed him. I'm sorry. And this man is no stranger to the big stage.
Yes, he is. He's been in a substantial amount of wars. We've seen him in with everyone from arguably the best fighter of the year, or the best pound for pound fighter in boxing, Terrence Crawford. We've seen him in with lots of big names: Mauricio Herrera,
Victor Postol,
Jose
Cepeda, who just had a war with Regis Prograis.
Absolutely.
Oh, so I'm curious to see how Hank is it Hammerin Lundy? Is it Hank? What is it now?
He was always hammering Hank Lundy in the box rec. If for all you box rec lovers, it'll say still Henry Hank Lundy, but I'm sure he'll be cool with Hank. But he's been in some terrific fights, and he is a good challenge for any young fighter come up. He is battle tested, and he is definitely going to put a good show of things.
Well, Kurt Scoby did tell me in our interview earlier that he needed someone battle tested, even though his record is only 11-0 and 9 knockouts. Mm-hmm. He needs someone in there, a veteran, to show his skills. Because the weight that he's gone down from 215, he was I know, it's crazy. He was a professional, his former football player from Azusa Pacific. He went from 215. That's
wild.
Heavyweight. And he's fighting at 140.
Mm-hmm. And he will find a formidable foe with Hank Lundy standing across from him, continuing the Philly tradition. Everyone knows strong, tough fighters come from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And Hank Lundy presents that challenge for him because we love to see the apple cart get upset, and we don't know what the implications of a fight like this might be.
Yeah, you never know. Anything can happen in boxing.
Yes.
And in the co-feature bout, Brian Ceballo versus Mitch Starchild Lewis Charles. Brian Ceballo, 14-1 and 7 knockouts. He was actually the main event in the last card. He had a stunning victory. He got the rounds in. He's been on the big stage before. He's fought under Gennady. He's fought on DAZN. He's fought at the Mecca of boxing, which is one of the biggest stages you can get on. And for him to come back, I know when I've interviewed him before that it was unfortunate pandemic. That was the problem. And so that's not just for him, but for every fighter. But I've interviewed him when he actually went pro and got signed with Tom Loeffler 360 Promotions.
Mm-hmm. And on the opposite from him, Mitch Starchild Lewis Charles may be new to some fans who will be tuning in, who will be visiting Sony Hall that night. He is from Canada. His record is 7-3-2 with 4 knockouts. The record is not always the indicator of what a fighter can do. Records can be very deceiving. Everyone comes in there, they're bringing their A game, and they want the opportunity, and Mitch is going to get his opportunity in a very tough co-main event.
Yeah, Brian Ceballos said in our interview that he liked his performance last time. He was satisfied with the win, but he could do better. Mm-hmm. He needed to be sharper. So we're going to see tonight, will he make those adjustments?
Absolutely.
So this is very exciting.
Very much
and
so.
then in an 8-round super lightweight bout, Terrell the Problem Bostic versus Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez. Terrell is 8-1 by way of 1 knockout, and Matthew is from Puerto Rico, fighting out of New York. 12 0 losses, 1 draw, and 8 KOs. When I spoke with Terrell earlier, man has some fast hands. He has one of those sneakiest uppercuts that have landed, and he fought on one of the previous Boxing Insider cards where he landed and knocked the guy out or dropped the guy with that sneaky uppercut.
Absolutely. And opposite of him, we have Matthew Lefty Guns, who was a junior Olympian, a standout. We've got a local war that's happening here. We've got all New York. The fans are going to be excited. Like I said, we are fresh off of the Puerto Rican Day Parade that just happened like a couple weeks ago. He is looking to get in there to mix it up and send a message and take the next step in his career.
This is the local war that Larry kept saying.
War.
This could be the fight of the night tonight.
It could be. It threatens to steal the fight night, especially when you have the hometown fans on hand. they are looking to see something great happen in the ring, and all the ingredients are there to make that happen.
I can't wait to see. Maybe this could be a knockout of the night.
Maybe. Maybe.
And then in a 4-rounder super featherweight bout, we have Raymond Cuadrado versus Yuri Andujar. Raymond is from Queens, 7-0 by way of 3 knockouts. And Yuri is 5-1, and 3 knockouts. Dominican Republic fighting out in New York City. You just said it, the same with about a record.
Yes, records can be deceiving, and not to mention lots of Dominicans in Queens. The fans are going to be excited to see this. It could be another hometown battle of sorts, but both men are just looking to do the best they can and keep it moving along. And Sony Hall is going to play a great venue to make it happen.
Oh, yeah. And then also to start out the night, usually when you start out a fight night at Club Show, it's usually a 4-rounder, a 6-rounder. But Larry's like, let's do it. Larry and Lou, let's put an 8-rounder welterweight bout. We got Arnold A.G. Gonzalez. He's 11-0 by way of 6 knockouts, taking on Alejandro Munera. He's 8-7, 8. You go right ahead. It's a lot of numbers.
Yes, Arnold Gonzalez is 11-0 with 6 knockouts. They'll be fighting in the welterweight division. For our fans here on the East Coast, they might have seen him on the undercard of the Gervonta Davis versus Rolly Romero card that was here recently. He is looking to make a statement. He won by 4th round TKO in his previous fight. And we're going to find out what some of those victories taught him and what he hopes to accomplish with a win.
Well, this is the fight. This is your fight card tonight. It's a 5-bout fight card, but you never know what's going to happen. There could be early knockouts. They could take them to the distance. Just because they go the distance, it doesn't mean anything. That means they got their rounds, and they will learn something. But for the crowd in attendance right now at Sony Hall, I see it is getting packed. It is lively. The music, I see people dancing. This is exciting, Giandra.
It's an exciting night. Sony Hall and Boxing Insider, in a partnership with Lou DiBella, is quickly establishing themselves as a must-go destination for local cards. The fight fans are responding in New York City. Again, New York City is a mecca of boxing, and it's filling a niche that desperately was needed here in New York City. And there's some terrific names that are looking to make their voice heard.
And like we talked about earlier, make sure you guys use the hashtag Boxing Insider Live on all of your socials across the board. And we are going to be doing a giveaway.
Yes.
So whoever uses it, we're going to randomly pick someone who hashtags it. You could do it 50 times, 100 times. And if we see it, you're going to get some merch from us or maybe Larry. We don't know.
Somebody's sending something.
Yeah, we're going to give you something.
Yes.
But so you know how this all started, Giandra. I've always known you that you started with Boxing Insider. That's
Yes.
how I've known you. You're a writer for them, and I didn't even know who Larry was. And you've been writing for them and doing video for them and interviews. And now it's come full circle that there's fights on in New York, club shows. We're doing the pre-show for them. Tell me a little bit about Larry.
Larry Goldberg is a lifelong boxing fan, has been committed to the sport, began on the journalist side point of view, and then has had this life shift into promoting cards, supporting local fighters, and just increasing the boxing scene in New York City. And now he has this opportunity, now a 5th opportunity, partnering with Lou DiBella to put these cards on at Sony Hall. He's doing a tremendous job. And it's just very exciting to see a new voice in the sport who is passionate, who is knowledgeable about the sport, to put cards on here, to celebrate young fighters, and again, fill that niche that's needed in New York City.
It is a testament to Larry and Lou, because Lou, we've always known about Broadway boxing, and this is in association with Broadway boxing because of Lou. But it's grassroots boxing, and we've talked about this. We've seen it in the news, very recent, about boxing and in the Olympics. It might not even be there anymore. Mm-hmm. So where are these amateurs going to go? Where are all these young fighters going to go? They cannot just go pro. They have to go somewhere and like test their skills. Mm-hmm. So this is, for all the promoters, not just Larry and Lou, but to put on a club show, because easily Larry could have been like, I want to just go do something big.
Yeah.
And then, and just ride with it. But to get these fighters to, help them with their record, get them working. I love that, especially after pandemic.
And I think a lot of fans are not casual fans, and people who are maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out with boxing may not understand the importance of these shows. A lot of people know of the Olympic route for fighters to go into the pro ranks, but it is these fights, these cards that are critical, where the best talent at the local level gets an opportunity to match against and see what's out there in the marketplace. These fights are critical for these fighters, for their development. And as fans, it gives you an opportunity to learn them, to grow with them. So when they reach that next level, you can say you got in with them on the ground floor, not a bandwagon fan.
Well, I mean, kudos to Larry, kudos to Lou, kudos to everyone that's putting this show on, and kudos to you fans, everyone that's tuning in right now, Boxing Insider Live. You're streaming the fight. Thank you for even tuning in to us, because this is the very first official pre-show to bring in Fight Night, to set the stage for you, to set the tone, because this is gonna be fun. I'm sorry, I get so excited, I keep knocking the mic. You know, we are live, so anything can happen. I'm sorry.
Technology won us 0, but we're gonna make it.
Yeah, and then so I know that we have that local war with Terrell, the Problem Bostic, and Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez, and it's an 8-round super lightweight.
We are now joined by welterweight Arnold Gonzalez. Thank you so much for your time today. Very exciting time for you. When we last saw you, you were on the Gervonta Davis versus Rolly Romero undercard. What do you want when you step into the ring this Thursday at Sony Hall? What type of statement would you like to make to the fans who are on site and will be watching online?
I just want to be first of all, thank you for having me on the show, and thanks for your time and for everyone's time for making this happen. I'm born and raised in Harlem, New York, and I just want to. It feels good to come back to a local show and be able to just display all my skills and everything I developed, because I've been living in Los Angeles the past 3 years, so it feels, and so I'm excited to come back home and be able to showcase my growth as a professional fighter in front of a local crowd, in front of my family, my friends, and everyone I know from back then in boxing. The boxing community.
It can be a little bit daunting when you fight in front of the hometown crowd. How would you describe the energy of fighting in front of the hometown? Like you said, you've been gone living in Los Angeles from 3 years. That's quite a flip-flop. LA and New York, 2 different vibes, 2 different cultures. So now you get to return. What is that energy like in the arena when you get to fight in front of the hometown crowd?
I just feel like there's it's exciting. It's exciting because I get to see a lot of familiar faces. And I get obviously to reconnect with a lot of people that have been in part of the process of me coming up as an amateur fighter and early on in my career. So I'm excited to just reconnect with everyone and perform in front of all my New York City people.
And the challenge at hand for the New York City people is against Arnold Manerha. What do you know about him as a fighter that you've had a chance to see, or just what's been communicated to you in your preparation for the fight? What do you know about him?
So actually, I was scheduled to fight another fighter, and his name was Yusuf Kinda from the Bronx, New York, but he had some medical issues and the commission didn't approve him. So this is a completely new name for me that we just found 2 days ago. So to be honest, I don't know much about him, but I'm prepared for anything, and we're in really good shape.
This is not unusual for fighters to fall out of fights and a last-minute replacement be brought in. So how does the mind shift change when you go from knowing something about an opponent to not knowing anything? You mentioned that you're going to be prepared for whatever, but what's that shift like in your mind to go in towards a completely unassuming foe that you don't know anything about?
To be honest, I don't really go on a mind shift. I just trust my preparation. I trust everything I've done throughout training camp. I trust my team. I trust my talent, my skills, and I just believe in myself. And I know that I feel like my biggest weapon is being able to adapt to whatever's in front of me. That's both in boxing and in life. So tonight's going to be nothing new to me, and we're going to go out there, put on a good show, and get the win.
Absolutely. Your most recent win was against Jesus Bravo. You won by a fourth round TKO. And before that, you had a split decision win against Tracy Magruder. What did each of these bouts teach you as a fighter that you can take moving into the future against future bouts?
I feel like I learned something with every fight. On the Tracy Magruder fight at the Barclays Center, it was actually a tougher fight than I expected. But again, like my preparation and my training throughout camp, and helped me out on that fight, and I was able to outwork Tracy Magruder. So, and we went back, made some adjustments, and went to fight Jesus Bravo, a very experienced fighter who's fought in many names before, and we actually had a better result on a fourth round TKO.
And then lastly, Thursday night, Sunny Hall, Harlem will have an opportunity to turn up for you. What message do you want to send to your OG family in Harlem and your new family in Los Angeles? What do you want to say to everybody who's going to be rooting for you that night?
Well, everyone that's going to come out, like, I greatly appreciate it. I know everyone's day is, everyone has, personal things they got to take care of, especially on a weekday. And, they might have work on Friday morning, but for everyone coming out and everyone just tuning in from their homes, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to, I'm sure, every fighter in this card, to have spectators and watching and supporting our dreams. And so I'm just grateful, for this opportunity, for everyone tuning in, and for everyone that's making this possible.
Thank you. Well, we wish you the best of luck on Thursday night.
You mean tonight?
We
you are like tonight.
We wish you the best of luck in your bout tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And Harlem, stand up. Get ready for a fight.
Real fast, Arnold, before we let you go, for everyone that's tuning in right now on BoxingInsider.com, that's streaming this live, that are not able to come out, can you set up what it's like for you and what it is going to be for a fan? Because some people have never been to a club show or have never been to a fight. But how can you explain to them? Because I know people would love to, but they just either just can't.
You want me to explain like what was your question? I'm sorry.
Can you set up what Sony Hall would be like for a fan, and as for you, a fighter, to show what kind of performance you're going to give?
Got it. I mean, it's going to be in Times Square, New York City. So you already know, and I'm from Harlem, New York. I'm from Uptown Manhattan, so I'm gonna have all of Harlem in the building. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be a lot of people supporting me, I'm sure, and every fighter's gonna have a great crowd. So expect a lot of good energy, a lot of shouting. But me myself, I'm gonna be extremely focused. I'm just gonna be listening to my team. I'm gonna go out there, have fun, because when I have fun, that's when I perform my best. And I'm gonna stick to the game plan and on what my team gives me. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a lot going on, and I'm gonna make the most of it. And I hope everyone that comes in and that tunes in makes the most of it as well. There's a lot of talent in the card.
Well, best of luck to you, Arnold, tonight. We're going to be watching, and we're going to be cheering all of you guys on. Jandra, this is, like he said, there's going to be a lot of shouting, and there's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be an exciting night. It's terrific for the fight fans. Thank you again, Arnold, for joining us this week on Boxing Insider Live.
Official pre-fight or pre-show.
Brought to you by
DeBella Entertainment.
In association
with DeBella Entertainment. I'm sorry. So many words. It is Boxing Insider by Larry Goldberg in association with DeBella Entertainment. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Larry. Sorry, Lou. All right. Well, you take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, Arnold is so sweet. I mean, he's ready, and I know he's going to bring a lot of fans from Harlem. And that's what I love about these club shows, because the whole borough is going to be there.
Whole borough. Last time I was just out here recently for the Teofimo fight, and I had a chance to go up to Harlem. There's some bomb Jamaican food in Harlem.
I saw in your girl. I was like, I mean, like, I think I just gained some weight just watching. It was yums, but no, this is like he said, it's going to be the way that for the fans that are watching and people who have never been to a live fight night in any sense, the crowd, the electricity that everyone gives off is so different from what you receive on television, because when you're there live, and club shows are small.
Yes.
So you could I don't care where you're standing, even if you're standing by the bathroom, that's still a really good seat. Mm-hmm. You're going to hear the thuds. You're going to see the blood, the sweat, the tears. You're going to hear the corner screaming. You're going to hear you're going to hear the mom screaming, cursing. you're going to hear that. And that is what the best part about these things are. But I know that, so we're going to segue because the main card, Kurt Scoby.
Yes.
Kurt Scoby is in the house. I know he's fighting. I mean, we spoke to him earlier. Well, I spoke to him. Fucking A. I have to edit this out. Sorry you didn't hear this. This is really hard. Scoby, are you on? Or is that Hank? I can't see.
That's Hank.
Okay,
that's
Hank. Oh, that's you. Okay, so we're going to have to segue. All right. I'll say this. All right, in the main event, Giandra, I mean, we've already spoken to Arnold. We've spoken to a couple of other fighters. But I want to know what Hammer and Hank Lundy had to say. I haven't heard from him in so long. I haven't seen him. Well, we kind of heard. You know what? Maybe I might grill him about a fight that should have happened, but you grill him about the fight tonight.
Yes, we're going to talk about the fight tonight. If you know Hammer and Hank Lundy, he's no stranger to fight fans with fights against Terrence Crawford, Mauricio Herrera, Thomas Delorme on his resume. He has been in arguably with the world's best pound-for-pound fighters, title challengers, and made his own way, kept up the Philly legacy of tough fights, and that's why we are here today. And at this stage in his career, he is still a sought-after fighter who has proven that he will bring the fight, and he's not coming in to lay down for anybody. And that's what's most exciting about these club shows, that these fighters can come in and upset the apple cart. And if anybody's capable of doing that, it's Hammer and Hank Lundy. So let's bring him in now and see what he had to say about this week. Good. Thanks, Hank. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to have you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure is entirely ours. As I mentioned in the intro, you are a fighter that is known to bring a tough fight every single time you come for the ring. No stranger to fight fans, specifically tough fighters that come from Philly. At this point, what keeps you up? What keeps you coming to the ring and still engaging in these tough fights?
I'm in it for a world title, you know. I had 17 years, you know, of a great career. You know, nothing was given, everything was taken. You know, most of these guys, they got their little story, had a little legacy, you know, family. I built this whole thing myself by fighting and wanted to be great. You know, built myself into a TV fighter. You know, and I'm still here for a world title. That's why I'm in this game, to be world champion. You know, and my journey, I'm still here. Look, now I got a lot left, you know, and Kurt is in trouble.
Well,
he picked the wrong guy.
Well, Hank, I'm going to have to press you because this is what we do as reporters. You were supposed to be fighting Adrian Broner not too long ago, and now we're seeing you on this card, thankfully. But what happened? Can you tell the fans? Because everyone has some Illuminati predictions of God knows what.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. It was a promoter in L.A. You know, I had suffered a cut, and he didn't think I had a cut, so he had got me suspended with the LA commission. And what happened, it actually put me on suspension from fighting the Broner fight, you know, because the Broner fight, the cut would have been healed and I was ready to go. So what he did, he thought I was just pulling out a fight to fight, you know what I mean, the Broner fight instead of his kid, which it was his son. And that wasn't the case. I had a cut. The guy is a prick. Excuse my language, but you know, that's exactly what he is, you know, and I got suspended and it messed up the fight.
Oh, well, then how did you get this call? Did Larry, or did you reach out to your team and said, I need to get on a card? Because, I mean, sadly, it just looked terrible for boxing overall.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, my manager is always working. And like I told him, I said, whoever it is, we don't run and duck from nobody. If they think they can mess with me with just 11 fights, put them in here. We want all the smoke, all of it.
So tell us what you do know about Kurt Scoby. Like you said, he is an up-and-coming fighter. You are a tough challenger. Do you know anything about him? And if you do, what do you think he does best?
Well, I seen little clips of here and there. He kind of mimicked the little Tyson movement and all that. But, at the end of the day, former football player, I play semi-pro football. You know what I mean? So I ain't worried about him being 200 pounds coming down to 140. I've been fighting big guys, going against big guys all my life. And I actually do it now because I play semi-pro football. You know what I mean? So it's not about nothing. But this is boxing, and it's different in that ring.
With playing semi-pro football, what position do you play? And within that position, what skills have you taken from boxing, do you think, that have helped you play semi-pro football?
Well, I play safety. I'm actually on the field with my son. My son played corner. My son is all over the field, man. He been blessed with the talent. That guy's he's great. But I'm on the field with my son. He plays corner. I play safety, or sometimes he play free safety. You know what I mean? But with the boxing thing, with the safety thing, I have to cover, both sides of the field. And at the end of the day, you have to be quick on your feet and everything. You know what I mean? And in the ring, that's what you definitely have to do. You have to have fast feet, and could know your surroundings in that ring. And that's what Hank Lundy do. I know what I'm doing in that ring.
For cardio and for stamina, for football and also boxing, a lot of people don't like to run at all. Right. And so to go 12 rounds is a very, very hard feat. And to do football is, it's football. Which do you find harder?
Boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing. I'm gonna keep it real boxing. At the end of the day, boxing is a one-man sport. You have your team, but fight night, it's just you in there. Your will, your determination. Football is a team sport. But I really could say, I've been in both. I play with full equipment on. If one guy falls short, the whole team falls short. But in boxing, it's somewhat a team sport, but fight night is all you in there. So I really could say it's boxing.
And lastly, for you coming out as the main event against Kurt Scoby, what do you need to show and tell your fans, or what do you have to prove to show you still belong here? You said it, you've been in it 17 years. Some people might say, dude, just hang it up already. Just continue on being a father, being a football player, and live life. Why keep coming back, and why do you need to show up and show out?
Because at the end of the day, man, I could have been somewhere else. You know what I mean? This was all Allah plan, for me. So at the end of the day, I'm here for a reason. It ain't over yet. It ain't over. And for Kurt, it's going to be hell to pay fight night. Because if you don't know what Hank Lundy brings to the table and what I'm coming to do, I'm coming to fight. I don't think nobody broke down to you what you're getting into. Lou DiBella, no. I remember he put me in there with a Lucia and a Joseph, 31 wins, 1 loss. Yeah. Ask him what happened that night. And the same thing going to happen this night.
Well, we're going to have Lou on with us. We are definitely going to talk about that. We are looking forward to seeing you in a highly competitive matchup. The super lightweight division is ripe, and if there's an opportunity, the opportunity begins here for another title reign. Thank you so much, Hank Lundy, for joining us. Have a terrific fight, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much love and respect for having me. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
He's got some fighting words.
He's ready to turn it up and fight and make his presence known. And, you never know what might happen with the super lightweight division. As we see We've had a new champion crowned, Rolly Romero, and everybody and their mama is calling out Rolly Romero. We've got Ryan Garcia, who's moved up to the weight division. Teofimo, Regis Prograis, just notched a victory recently down in New Orleans. So super lightweight, there's a lot to be had there, and he's looking to have it.
Imagine if Lundy comes back and just...
Wow.
I mean, it was very interesting what he said about Adrian Broner and what happened, because all of a sudden we were expecting that fight when it was announced, and then there were so many changes with that fight, and then unfortunately it didn't even happen. Nothing happened.
Shameless plug for us. If you were all enthralled in that whole saga, make sure you visit the Best Women's Boxing Show, YouTube channel, and you can watch our interview with Ivan Redcatch, who was the original opponent for Adrian Broner, and then Lundy was selected after him, and then there was no card at all.
Yeah, I remember Ivan saying, I'm going to go support Lundy, and then that fight fell out.
Exactly. But now, if you were waiting for that, we have Hank Lundy tonight at Sony Hall, who will be in the main event against Kurt Scoby of New York City. Philly versus New York. There's a lot of fans who are in close proximity who could come out and support him that night.
This was a fun official pre-show that we got to do for Boxing Insider Fight Night in association with DeBella Entertainment. The interviews that we got to watch, the fans that got to watch, they got to see a little preview of them before they step into the ring tonight. Hank Lundy is looking to make a name again and looking to get back in the ring. Arnold is looking to show up, show out. And you know what? He could be, if he really proves to be a great contender or even a great prospect, welterweight is at it's there. Everyone wants that crown.
That's right. We have two fighters who are hungry and ready at two of the most competitive divisions currently in boxing, super lightweight and welterweight. There is an opportunity to be had here, and tonight is going to be a great night of action at Sony Hall. And how fortunate are we to have a front row seat to all of it, as all of you who are ringside to get to see all these great fights tonight.
So make sure tonight, if you are just tuning in to the end of our official Fight Night pre-show, the live stream will be starting shortly. But I'm gonna just tell you the card. It's it's 5 fights, 8 rounds. Arnold A.G. Gonzalez versus Alejandro Minera. 4-rounder Raymond Cuadrado versus Yuri Andujar. The next one is Terrell the Problem Bostic versus Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez. That is an 8-rounder. We think that's going to be the fight of the night.
Yes.
That is the war. And the co-feature bout, Brian Ceballo is back in the ring, taking on Mitch Starchild, Louis Charles, and the main event, an 8-rounder super lightweight bout, Kurt Scoby versus Henry Hammer and Hank Lundy. So, Giandra, this was fun. This was great. Remember, you guys, at Boxing Insider .com. I don't want to say .com because people literally put .com. So it's at Boxing Insider .com on Instagram. Hashtag Boxing Insider Live. I hope you guys had fun with us tonight. Deandra, I had fun with you.
I had a great time. I had fun with you as always, and we're having a great time with you here at Sony Hall. Make sure if you want to keep up with us, make sure you subscribe to the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. YouTube channel where you can see all of our interviews, and follow us on social media, and you'll see us back here with BoxingInsider.com for a later fight card. And make sure you use the hashtag BoxingInsiderLive.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to the official pre-show for Boxing Insider Promotions Fight Night. I am Cynthia Conte.
And I'm Giandra LaBeouf.
Remember to... we have to shamelessly plug Best Women's Boxing Show, period. All right, see you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.